guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a look using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Bonbons palette. It's a very simple chocolatey brown look that didn't really take that long to put together. My lovely husband got this for me for Valentine's Day, which in my opinion is much better than regular chocolate since I'll get to enjoy it for so much longer. If you'd like to find out how I got this look, keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to get started with priming my face, and today I'm using the Nivea Men Sensitive Skin Aftershave Balm. I've been meaning to do a post on this and I just haven't gone around to it yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this to my face, and I'm going to be really patient when I do this because the trick to using this as a primer is to really work it into your skin until it becomes almost like a tacky texture. That's when you know that the glycerin's ready and your foundation will literally stick to your face like glue once you have this applied to your face. So I'm just feeling my face just to make sure that it's nice and tacky. So I'm going to go with my foundation, and I'm using, as always, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte in the shade Classic Ivory. So I'm just dotting this all over my face. I'm just making sure I hit all the places that I want to make sure are covered in foundation. I'm going to buff this in using a Morphe M439 brush, and I'm just going to speed through this because you've seen me do this a few times now. I'm just making sure that I blend it into my hairline and my neck as well. For concealer, I'm using my Holy Grail Concealer, which is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral. And I'm just applying this in my under eye area, and then I'm going to blend it in using an e.l.f. Small Stipple Brush. So I'm just working this into my skin in a back and forth motion, and this is a trick that I recently learned on Jaclyn Hill's channel. Apparently it helps keep your concealer out of your creases. Then I'm going to set everything using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Powder in the shade Translucent. If you're not oily, then you probably only need to set your under eye area where you put the concealer, but since I am oily, I am setting my entire face. But this isn't a step that everyone needs to take. It just depends on what your skin's like. Then I'm going to prime my eyes using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the original formula, and I'm just applying a little tiny bit of this to my eyelids before I go in and blend it in with my fingers. So I'm just going to blend this in an upwards motion going towards the brow bone and making sure that my entire eyelid is covered. So I'm just going to do this on both eyes just to make sure that it's all blended in nicely. Once I'm done blending that in, I'm going to move on to contouring, and I'm going to use my very beat up looking Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit in light to medium, and I'm using the shade Fawn just to chisel out my cheekbones just a little bit. I can't figure out what happened to my palette. All of a sudden, within the last month, it just started bubbling all over the packaging. So I'm not sure if this is something that normally happens or if mine had some kind of freak accident. Now I'm just applying my lip balm, and as always, it's the Maybelline Baby Lips Dr. Rescue in Too Cool. Okay, so for my eyes, I'm starting off with the shade Almond Truffle, and on a Sigma E40 tapered blending brush, I'm just going back and forth in a windshield wiper motion just to define my crease a little bit. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take the exact same brush and take the shade Divinity and just apply that all over my primer to set it. Then I'm taking the shade Mocha, and on a Morphe M433 brush, I am applying this to the crease as well, just to deepen it just a little bit more. The edges were a little bit too harsh for my liking, so on the same brush I took Divinity just to blend them out just a little bit more. Then using my trusty MAC 242 brush, I'm applying the shade Molasses Chip all over my eye. So I'm just making sure that I stay below the crease, and I'm blending it into the shade Mocha, which I had previously applied. Then using a Morphe E17 brush, I'm applying the shade Dark Truffle just to the outer edge of my eye, just to deepen it just a little tiny bit. I don't want it on the whole outer half, but just a little tiny bit. Then just to further deepen the outer crease, I am taking my Sigma E30 pencil brush and applying that just to the outer part of my crease, and then I'm blending that in. For my under eye, I'm taking that same Sigma pencil brush and I'm applying the shade Dark Truffle just to the outer corner. For the inner corner, I'm using the shade Satin Sheets. I noticed that Dark Truffle looked a little bit too intense, so once I applied that, I went into the shade Divinity and just blended that underneath it just to kind of blend it out and make it less hard. Then for eyeliner, I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Demolition, which is becoming smaller every time I use it because I love it so much. So I'm just applying that to the waterline, and then I'm going to apply it just to the outer half of my upper eye. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on, and then once that's on, I'm just going to gently rub it in with my finger just to diffuse it just a little bit. Then for mascara, I'm using my new favorite, which is the Maybelline Lash Sensational in the shade Blackest Black. I really just got this week, but just based on my first impressions alone and using it for the past couple days, I love it. It lengthens, it volumes, it just is really amazing. So I've applied one coat already and put put a coat on my bottom lashes, and I'm just going in with a second coat right now. And this is for my friend Hillary. I am applying a third coat. She was teasing me the other day since I don't seem to wear as many layers of mascara as she does. For my brow, I'm setting them using the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper in the shade light to medium. I had previously penciled them in before I started the video using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. I just got the NYX Micro Brow, and I gotta say that so far, based on my first impressions, I really love it. Then just briefly going back into the Bon Bons palette, I'm applying the shade Divinity to my brow bone using a Morphe E14 brush. So I'm just gently patting that on just to add a little bit of highlight there. Then for my cheekbones, I'm using the Faced Candlelight Glow highlighting powder duo, and I'm mixing both of the shades together, and I'm using my trusty Morphe M501 brush just to gently apply this to my cheekbone, just to add a little bit of a highlight there. Then it would seem that I thought my brow bone needed a little extra highlight, so using the same highlight and the same brush, I'm just going to pat a little teeny tiny bit to my brow bone just to add a little bit of an extra highlight. Then for blush today, I am using NARS Orgasm, which is a very pretty shimmery peach color, and I'm just applying this to my cheekbones with a Morphe E4 brush. One of my favorite tricks for applying blush is just to smile just a little bit to make my cheeks pop before I start blending it in, just so I make sure I'm applying it to the right area. Then using a fan brush, I'm just further blending in my blush and my highlight just to make sure that there's no excess powder and everything's nice and blended in. Then for lipstick, I'm using the Maybelline Color Sensational Creamy Matte Lipstick in the shade Mesmerizing Magenta, and I'm applying this directly onto my lips. That is a very long name for a lipstick. So I'm just making sure that I applied all over my lips, and then I'm going to just rub them together, and once I'm done with that, I'm just going to make sure that I have hit every area and everything's all nice and filled in and even. I have to say I'm very impressed with this lipstick a couple hours later, and I still have a little bit of a pinkness to my lips. So this is the completed look. Thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be back next week with another video. See you next time. Bye!